Welcome back, you lovely shit talking army. It's your two favorite dads. We're having an after hours, our first time after hours, and our first time having a Thanksgiving special holiday edition. So we hope you're all well and warm and feeling cozy with the family because this one's going to be a spicy one this evening. But before we get to that, let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Daniel. Looks like you're back rocking Detroit. You made up with the city?
Dude, the whole thing, what I was thinking about that, you and I have been talking about it in the past. I just looked at it as more of a symbolic where I moved on from the past and looking to the future. And here we are in the future.
All right. Well, good. It's nice to see it. I'm sure the 8 Mile folks would appreciate that you decide not to turn your back totally on your hometown sports teams. You got to love the one that you brought to the dance, as I say.
You know,
What else is going on in your world, my friend?
well, it's prime time right now. Night before Thanksgiving, I've been making some homemade pumpkin pies. It's a family tradition of mine. So yeah, been making the pies and getting things ready for tomorrow for Thanksgiving dinner and breakfast.
All right. Well, Daniel, no hard feelings, but it looks like you look like a man that knows how to bake a pie. Now, I look like a guy that knows how to eat one. So put one of
I
those
do both.
pies aside for your boy. We'll get together next week for coffee and break some pie. I love it.
I will.
That's awesome. So you said it's a family tradition. How far back does it go? Do you have like a secret recipe, or what is it that makes this such a special family memory for you and your family?
Yeah, so it dates back all the way back to my grandparents' time on my mom's side, and my mom continued the tradition. And I've always liked pies and stuff like pumpkin pies and things like that, like apple pies, French silk pies. We would make different kinds of pies. So
Now, have you
um,
ever had a sweet potato pie?
I have not. I always wanted to
Bro,
try it.
you got to get yourself one of them one day. That'd change your life right there.
All
Uh,
right.
for all my Nubian brothers and sisters, y'all know about that sweet potato pie. You all know. Hey, even Walmart. I mean, I don't know if it's as good as the original, but even Walmart, they bought out the singer Patti LaBelle's pie company because her sweet potato pie, about 4 or 5 years ago, took the world by storm, and they it was such a big hit that Walmart bought the company. So if you just want to try, I mean, they're probably not good as like grandmas, those big mamas out there. Them big mamas out there right now got them sweet potatoes rolling. Uh, so I don't know if they'll be good as big mamas, but for a store bought pie, a sweet potato pie at that, not bad. So go get yourself one of those, and it'll change your life. So were you
Cool.
you guys still going? Because I know the kids were sick and things. How are they doing? Are they ready to rock and roll and go do Turkey Day?
Oh yeah, everybody's doing well. Everyone's getting healthy just in time now, and yeah, we're going to be going over to sister-in-law's house and family's brother-in-law, his family, one of my wife's other sisters and her husband are coming over, and in-laws, and it's just going to be a fun family gathering.
All right. Well, I look forward to
Yeah,
hearing how it turns out for you. Anything you want to say about the holiday? Anything you're particularly thankful for, or any of those good well wishes, those hallmark moments that we always talk about? Anything that
absolutely.
you'd like to say to the army out there in general?
Absolutely. So I'm just thankful for family, friends, clients, you, Logan, and shit talking army, and just very thankful for. I'm just very thankful for the community here, and just yeah, just the community.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
What about you,
we're
man?
we're definitely thankful for you. I mean, similar to yourself, I consider myself a very blessed man. I have a lot of deep, loving, deep seated friendships, very loving friendships. I really try to bring light and joy and energy to every interaction I have. So I just really appreciate those opportunities to be that kind of a person, to try to, lift people up and bring people along and connect folks and just really be part of a village that, like I could tell people all the time, if you hang around me enough, you hear me talk about village, village, village. And I'm very about that. So, I'm thankful for my Lord Jesus Christ,
Absolutely.
for blessing my life and blessing me with so many wonderful things. And for all the people out there, I was talking to my dad earlier, who's very big in the AA community, and he and some of his they have sober living homes and different things that he's a part of. And tomorrow, when I talked to him earlier, they were, baking and frying and smoking turkeys, and they're going to be out at 6 a.m. in the morning downtown Denver, feeding homeless. So, it's just such a blessing for all the times that you can think about the trials and tribulations that you go through or your family goes through, or, and all that. But every night I go to bed under a roof. I go to bed in a warm bed. I go to bed next to someone who loves me. I wake up and have, three beautiful children that, greet me and love me. And my eldest son who just is about to become a fireman, just called tonight to check on dad. We had some laughs, and it's just, I'm just very blessed by everything that God has brought into my life, including yourself, Daniel. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Logan, I want to also just real quick, I forgot two other people who I'm very thankful for and blessed to be to know. Always, our Lord Jesus Christ, but also Mo Rock and the Los Angeles Tribune. Just really appreciate them as well.
Cool. All right. Well, what up, Mo? We're going to have Mo Rock here on the show here soon. We just talked to him the other day. He's a very interesting fellow. I think the Army's going to appreciate his story and what he's doing out there with the Los Angeles Tribunes. And I think he's just buying up Tribunes all over the place. He's just taking over the world as far as that goes. So interested to hear his story. And we look forward to having him on soon. So the reason why we're here tonight, the title of the show is Look Who's Coming to Dinner. Now, even though we're very blessed, we just said a lot of blessing and a lot of nice things. The holidays can be just such a time of joy and family and camaraderie and friendship, but it also can bring a lot of angst. And, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer or anything of that nature, but this is going to be one of those, again, Daniel, I'm a little bit older than you, so you probably don't remember the after school specials, running home from school because ABC or one of them was going to have an after school special. And it was always a very, heartwarming lesson that you needed to learn. And, because there wasn't cable and all the rest of that at that moment, you really kind of look forward to those as a kid. Well, this is kind of one of these moments, but as for an adult, an after school special moment. So without further ado, let's tell you a story. So years ago, I used to date a girl. Surprise, surprise. I dated a girl. And this girl and I, we met on a Sunday at a little one of those restaurants that were, it wasn't quite Ruth Chris level, but in Portland terms, it was like just right below that. So it was a finer dining establishment, but it wasn't, one of those that you hear about like nationally or one of those deals. But it was one of those restaurants that had the little bar attached where, people would go hang out in the bar and have cocktails before their table was called. But this was a Sunday, so it was dead. And I just happened to be driving home. I lived about an hour away. And I happened to be driving home from visiting with some friends, and the Cowboys game, Go Cowboys tomorrow, was coming on TV. And so I knew I wasn't going to make it home for the start of the game. So I said, well, look, let me just pull over here, hop in the bar, have a beer, having a beer this evening, and there you go. And, and catch the first half of the game. And as I'm sitting there by myself and the bartender, and I'm actually talking on the phone with my mother, of all things. I'm a mama's boy, as y'all have probably figured out. Uh, in walks in this angelic angel, and she looks one way, she looks the other way. She gives me what I describe as this "hey y'all" shit eating grin, and from there I was just like, whoa, what is this? Talking about blessings, talking about Thanksgiving blessing. And so she happened to be there waiting for her friends, but she got there early. So of course, as the Southern gentleman that I am, I said, "Hi, are you looking for someone?" And she says, "Well, I was waiting. I was looking for my friends, but I think I'm early." And there was no one in the bar but us. And I said, "Well, you're welcome to sit with me until they get here. Mom, got to go. Call you later." And by the time her friends got there, she went over there, did a few pleasantries, but told her friends, "Got something going on over here in the corner. I'm gonna catch up with you girls later." And that was my last first date with that individual. And so that was on a Sunday. On a Tuesday, I found out during the course of our conversation that she was a volleyball coach for her high school, did that part-time, to give back to the community. And me being a sports nut, I asked if I could come out and see the game, and she reluctantly agreed, because she's one of those really focused type of folks, especially during volleyball season. Club season's about to come up, so I will be losing my daughter to that here very soon. And so I drive out to this beautiful, Hallmarkish, amazing little quaint town out in the Oregon countryside. And I'm talking about, it's out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it took me from my house a good hour and a half to get there. And I'm driving along and I'm looking at the cornfields, and I'm looking at the hops and the barley fields, for a lot of the micro brews are supplied by hops and barley by Oregon suppliers, farmers. And I'm like, where am I going? Is this like at the end of the earth? Now, walk into this gym. And needless to say, not very many people look like me in that gym, if at all. You could literally hear the needle on the record player scratch. Like, who is this? In fact, the town folk, as I got to know them later on, they all thought I was a scout. There to scout one of the girls for like a college scout or something. So, needless to say, this young lady and we started to date, and it became a little bit more serious. And this was all in, September time, at the beginning of the school year in Oregon. So our first major holiday comes up, and this is the reason why I'm telling this story. And so me being from Texas, and I wasn't able to go home. I think my mother maybe was traveling or something, so I wasn't going home for the holiday. So she says to me, even though I had, quite a few invites, I always got invited places, but she's like, "Why don't you come home to dinner at my house? You can, my older brother's going to be in town, and, it's going to be, this great family thing, come on through." Okay, I'll do that. So again, I drive out in the middle of nowhere, and, this idyllic, picturesque, beautiful Christmas tree farm and nursery. And we, are sitting there, and we're about to have dinner. And, because there's extra family members there, how you put the leaf in the table to make it larger for everyone. They're doing all that. They're putting all the place settings down. And my girlfriend and I are having, what's that?
Did you get your name tag too? Little place.
No, I didn't have to have it. I was the only one that was the guest. And again, the only one who looked like me. So everyone knew my name early and often, and it wasn't a debate on who I was. So as we're sitting there, my girlfriend and I are in the corner, and I'm sitting down. She's kind of standing up facing me. And there's a proclamation that goes out that, says, "We're not very formal here. We're going to do buffet style eating today. All right, no big deal. Whatever you want to do, rock your boat. And at that moment, my girlfriend looks down at me and says, "Honey, would you like me to make you a plate?" And uh, it's kind of the joke of the story, that statement. Now, I, being kind of a smartass in my own way, and being cheeky, as my wife likes to say, I immediately was like, "Oh, you can do that?" Now, the funny thing about this, and the reason why the reason why that's an interesting part of the story is because, see, this woman that I met, and where she lived and where I lived was a good hour drive without traffic away from each other. Solid 50 minutes, let's say. And so, even though she owned a home, she had a roommate that was kind of like, you just didn't bring people around that person. They weren't, they were kind of, one of them, as you know, one of those types. You just didn't surprise them with random people coming by. So she would always come to my house. Now, what I would do is, and what I still do, I'm kind of known for this, is like if you were coming to have dinner at my house, Daniel, you live a solid hour away from me. I would say to you and your family, "Hey, Daniel, what time are you leaving?" And you give me a time, and I would calculate what I'm cooking in my head to the time you should show up on my doorstep. And when you walk through my front door, it's coming off sizzling off the griddle, or the skillet, whatever, the grill, whatever I'm using that day, and it's going to be plated, and it's going to be brought out and put in front of you like restaurant style. It's going to be sizzling hot to the perfection, ready to go. So when my girlfriend would come visit me, I mean, it was literally like a running back and a quarterback. She would come walking through the door, and I would literally just hand her plate for dinner. And she would, at the time, I had this really nice Chase lounge. It was almost like a double bed. It was so wide and long. It was so comfortable. And she would just lounge up on the Chase and just look like the Queen of Sheba. And she would eat and just enjoy. And it was a fresh home cooked meal. I like to cook, being from the South, as people know. And, you heard me talk about marinating meat. So I don't half-ass it. I mean, I put my heart into this. One of my favorite things that makes me kind of interesting is I love collecting kitchen gadgets. So I have like all kind of kitchen this, that, and the other. I mean, if you buy me a kitchen gadget for any kind of holiday that's, interesting, I'm about it. I mean, I'm that dude back in the day when they had infomercials that could not stagger in from the bar at 2 a.m. with his credit card in hand because I'm buying those steak knives. That's me. I want them. I mean, so she would come and she would lounge and she would supper, and it was like, oh, and then I would come and I would clear all the plates away, and to the kitchen off they go. I mean, I had my own place, so I did my own dishes. All she'd have to do is sit around, look pretty, eat well, and just relax and feel comfortable and confident, and just I mean, I want people to feel comfortable when they come to my home. So I go all out. And so that's what the joke of it was, is that I always was serving her. So when this was the first opportunity for her to truly make me a plate of food. So as we're having this moment in the corner, I'm noticing her family member, setting the plate, plates and the silverware and the napkins, setting the table. And as soon as I said, "Oh, you can do that?" I'm telling you, Daniel, I've never experienced this before or since. I still have not, after all these years, I still have not made sense of this moment. I've talked to many people, and from many different walks of life, from many different backgrounds and socioeconomic standings. I mean, because I'm thinking, maybe I'm off. Maybe it's me. Maybe and shit talking army. I really want your help on this. I want you in the comments to tell me what your thoughts are on this moment. And I'm telling you, all at once, there was a great roar through the house. Now, I know the one person that's standing there pretending like they're doing the setting of the table where they're really eavesdropping on on our conversation, and they're dang near sitting in my lap with it. But it felt like all the specifically the women in the house, and there was only three, you know, three women, well, four, including my girlfriend, uh, in the house. But all the women, minus my girlfriend, they all yelled, "No!" like that. I mean, and of course now I'm like, it's almost like that movie Get Out, where you hear that whisper, like, you know,
Yeah.
save yourself while you can. And I'm startled, and I'm like, first you're asking yourself, well, was that meant for me? Like, you know, I mean, because we're in a corner having a private conversation. There's something going on in the house. Is like, you know, someone falling in the creek. They had a roaring creek behind their house. You know, like, what, you know, is the house on fire? Like, what's going on? And so I just immediately jump up thinking it's a joke, and I'm like, well, here, girlfriend, sit down. I'll go make you a plate. And I do that. I get up, I make a plate, boom, boom, boom. And still to this day, I don't know the exact reasoning. I mean, I did hear at some time later, uh, the family felt I was controlling and domineering and, you know, ordering their little princess around. And, which, of course, as I just told you, was the furthest thing from the truth. She got treated with kid gloves on silk pillows and chariots of, you know, brass men championing her in every time I saw her. She got a hero's parade. But really, it brings me, the reason why I bring up this story is not to, you know, really dissect that moment or that family or what have you. It really is to say, tomorrow, there are going to be people all over our beautiful country that are going to bring someone home for the first time, whether it be a coworker who has no place to go, whether it be, you know, a best friend, whether it be a new boyfriend or girlfriend, whether it be, you know, just some stranger they met on the street, struck up a conversation and just said, hey, man, you have nowhere to go? Man, come to my family's. Come with me. Get in the car. Let's go. And that's a beautiful thing. Opening up your home. There's nothing more, you know, beautiful and godlike and what I consider American, truly, like us as a country and the ideals that the four founders, you know, the principles and the ideas that they founded this country on of, you know, one country, one heartbeat, you know, we're all equal under the eyes of God, you know, as the constitutions and the preambles and all those good documents say. Bringing someone to your home is one of the most spiritual and beautiful things you can do. Opening up your home, making them feel welcome and making them feel comfortable and making them feel great. It's a true honor to be able to do that. So what I am saying out there to shit talking army, if this is you and you are bringing someone home for the first time, I'm begging of you, imploring to you, you know, speaking to you directly. First and foremost, have a conversation with your family. Hey, I'm bringing Joe Schmo home from work. Joe Schmo's like this or that or the other. You know, how do you feel about that? You know, oh, are you sure it's okay if I bring him? You sure? You sure? You sure? Like they said in, you know, the Outlaw song, you know, the Outcast song, forever, forever, ever. Are you sure? You sure? You sure? You sure? You sure? You sure? It's okay. You no angst, no this, no that, no. You know, make sure you talk to your folks and, you know, prepare them for who's coming to dinner, what those people are like. Maybe they're a little cheeky, like myself. I like to tell jokes. My wife tells me all the time I'm not funny. You know, sometimes people laugh. Maybe sometimes people want to take me out back and beat the heck out of me. I don't know. But,
Never,
you
Logan.
know,
Never.
well, you know, sometimes I've been known to know that sometimes they don't laugh. Most of the times they do. I don't know. But, you know, maybe you tell your people, hey, he thinks he's funny. he talks a lot, or she's got a lot of energy and she bounces off the wall a little bit, and we're more quiet, just roll with it. She's a really nice person, had no place to go. On the flip side, and maybe the more important side, if you're bringing someone to your home or into your experience or into your culture, into your family, like Daniel just talked about family traditions with making pumpkin pies. If you're bringing someone from the outside in, go to them and let them know about your family culture, your family traditions, your family history, your family, if there's something that your family does that's really unique, like most of us are from all over the country, at least, if nothing else, a lot of us from all over the world. And there are certain traditions, like Daniel just mentioned about the pies with his family, but there are certain traditions and certain eating habits and certain things that certain cultures and people have that the person you're bringing in to your family situation will not know anything about, or, and it's important for you to kind of give them a heads up of, hey, my family can be a little quirky, or, hey, my mom kind of runs the show. My dad's not going to talk much, or, we're not very formal. Don't worry about putting on your Sunday best and coming over. You can come over in sweats, or like, hey, if you're, Daniel, you're more of a computer guy, even though I know you love sports, but I'm just saying, because you're a computer guy, maybe there's a super duper, like, like my eldest son can care less about sports. He knows nothing of it, can care less about it. He's an artist, he's a thespian. He does nothing to do with sports. He's perfectly comfortable never going to a sporting event ever again. Perfectly comfortable if he never sits down and watches the Super Bowl. He's just not a sports person. So if he was coming to, dinner at someone's house, he'd be like, hey, my family is kind of sports obsessed, and we're going to be sitting around, we're going to be watching the game. There's going to be a lot of yelling, a lot of cursing. Grandpa's probably going to get really drunk, or my uncle, they're going to start saying stuff that's like crazy. Someone might end up taking their pants off. If there's something about your family that makes your family, and you can expect that every year at your house, don't let that person walk in blind. Don't let them walk in thinking, it's going to be one way. I always my mother watches a lot of Hallmark, so I always go back to Hallmark, Norman Rockwell, where, make America great things, where people think it's going to be pristine and polite, and hey, may I offer you some more cranberries, or
black tie event.
But yeah, just where people are just buttoned up and, very like, welcome, please. Oh, here, have the good chair. Give him the big piece of turkey, and, make this person feel loved and welcome, and just feeling gracious. Because see, I'm from, like you've heard me mention, I'm from down south. If somehow a Ku Klux Klan member got invited to our house, that person would leave that house thinking that was the best meal I've ever had. Those people were the nicest folks. They treated me awesome. There was just, I went in thinking one thing about these people, and man, I came out and I feel like I made new friends. I want to come back next year if they would invite me. I'm going to be angling to come back next year. That's how my family would have reacted to any stranger coming into the home. Even if we don't like you, even if we don't want you there, even if we, something about your face, or you got body odor, you would never know that we didn't think you were just the most magnificent specimen, human being, spirit, walking planet Earth. You would be treated as if Jesus was coming to dinner. And I don't mean to be sacrilegious, so please, folks, don't come for me. It's not like that. But, you just...
You're living by example, Logan. You're living by...
that's how where I come from. That's how we treat people. So with the no hurt around the world, at least in my head, it set off a very curious relationship between my girlfriend and I, because in my opinion, what my girlfriend should have done in that moment was, first of all, turn around and be like, why is everyone yelling? What's going on here? Did we lose our mind? But secondly, once she recognized that it was directed towards us, she should have gladly said, hey, everybody. Every time I go to his house, he has the plate waiting for me, coming off the skillet like a restaurant, full meals, cooked, well seasoned to perfection. I just lay up on the chase and we eat and we supper. And this is before DVRs. So typically there would be a game on, because again, I'm a sports nut. And I'd be in the kitchen plating or doing something, and I hear her yelling, "Ow, what a play!" And I'll be come running, what happened? You couldn't rewind it. You couldn't rewind it. And if they didn't show the replay, or if you missed the replay, then that was it. She's out there watching the big game that I wanted to watch. She's relaxing. She's suppering. She's got a glass of wine in her hand and just feeling good, hair flowing. And if she would have simply have just said, hey, back up, back off, show some respect, because this person shows me nothing but respect at all times and every moment. And it's my pleasure to, for the first time, be able to get him a plate. A lot of angst would have been squashed right then and there. So, Shit Talking Army, we would love to hear about your holiday experiences, the best ones out there, and some of the ones you've had to learn from, like this one I'm talking about here. And for all of you out there that is bringing someone home for dinner for the first time, to meet the family, to meet those of you, those people in your life that are most important to you, just make sure you realize, if things go a little off than what you were expecting, protect the innocent, protect the person that just came for turkey and stuffing and Daniel's pumpkin pie. Look out for them, because they're just there to try to have they're not there for a long time. They're there for a good time. So that's the story today. I hope that some of you out there will take heed. I hope everyone out there has a wonderful, wonderful holiday. God bless America. God bless each one of you. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And, please like, subscribe, and please comment. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts on the story, how you would have handled it. If this type of thing has ever happened to you on either side. Maybe you brought someone home, and next thing you know, he's out back swinging haymakers with Uncle so-and-so, fighting over the football game because he's a Cowboys fan and the Uncle so-and-so's another fan, and they both had too much to drink. I don't know. Too much eggnog cheer. But
Christmas.
Well, yeah, that's true. We love eggnog. Where I was asking the kids today, pick up some eggnog if they have it. But Daniel, anything you want to add to the story? Anything that strikes your funny bone with this?
Absolutely. I definitely second if you are bringing your boyfriend, your friend, coworker, just anybody, just make sure that you tell them how your family is before you bring them home.
Give them the blueprint.
Yeah. And just some experience with my wife, they were very welcoming. They were one where it's like, yeah, this is how we are, and we want to learn about your traditions too. So just communicate. That's all I can just say, is just communicate before you could go to that dinner.
Awesome. Well, thank you for indulging us this evening for our first after hours. We're going to do more of these after hours. We probably will have, more cocktails when that happens. But we just love you, the Shit Talking Army. We appreciate each and every one of you that have reached out to us personally, each and every one of you that have left comments, each and every one of you that have hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you know when we go live. We just appreciate all of you out there. We do want to wish you again a very happy Thanksgiving and a holiday season. And we look forward to the next time we can come on and spend time with you again. So until that time, Shit Talking Army,